Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thanks for joining me, Paul, with Land Cravings at landcravings.com. This is, again, I know y'all can't see me till I turn around. We're in the beautiful city of Rockport, Texas. This is my favorite things are these little things, these little fishing hole, these bait shops right in here. I do a lot of fishing in Rockport. My in-laws live here, so it's Christmas 2022. It's almost 2023. Happy New Year. We almost made it. I'm going to shut up like I usually do, let you look at the water. Coming back at me now. I got a little situation to tell you, but take a look around at the lots in here, this land over here. You can, some of the things, if you ain't got no ideas of what you want to do with your property, well, just look around. Here's a little pier that somebody bought that's just private because it's attached to the Fulton Mansion right here in Rockport, Texas. And it's actually tied to this little motel right here, which I've never been at. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys as I shut up again. Yeah, so I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about some investors that do not allow certain buyers to build on their property or make improvements to the property until they pay it all the way off. And all of them have got, war stories or certain stories. This is what I'm walking on, this stuff right here. I like to walk on this stuff with just walkie-talkie right now. It's going to be a little rocky. But anyway, so there's a liability when you do that. When you allow a buyer who you're financing is what I'm talking about. Not when you're paying cash for the property. You pay cash, the buyer pays cash for the property. It's theirs to do whatever they want. But some of my fellow investors like to finance to certain buyers, and they say, no. You can't do a damn thing on that property. You can't set foot on it until you pay it all the way off. This is getting kind of rocky. I got good shoes on there. Columbia's not paying me, but so they say I will take money from Columbia if they were to call me and say, hey, we heard you were wearing your product on your YouTube channel. I'll do it, Columbia. You just give me a call. I'm in for the money. But anyway, they do it. It's a liability issue. Somebody goes out there, starts building. If it's not in your contract, your purchase contract, to protect yourself, it is in mine, but some people don't have that kind of protection written into their purchase agreement. You might get into a little trouble. But as far as making improvements and building on a property, one situation I had with a buyer that I wanted to share with you is that typical, some of these desert squares that I own, that Land Cravings has, that I like to finance to families so they can, afford a property. Some of them, they like to put little sheds on, right? So I had a family that asked me to do that. 9 out of 10 of my buyers, I have a clause in my purchase agreement that says that if you put it on the property and you own it, and you fail to make the proper payments, and I have to foreclose on your property, there's a clause in my purchase agreement that says that all improvements are then owned by the company, because I had to foreclose on your property. It makes sense, right? I never caught anything out here, but way out there, like way over there, is Mustang Island in Rockport. I caught Tono fish. That's T-O-N-O fish. Way out there, there's a little island out there. Padre Island's over that way. But anyway, back to the focus. What was I talking about? The sheds, yeah. So this one old family, I told them, in the purchase agreement, rather, If you fail, I got to foreclose that improvement that you made that is on my property is now owned by Land Cravings, right? That's fair enough. I gave you, 2 skip-a-month coupons to catch up, what have you. You signed the purchase agreement. It's a legal binding agreement, and you agreed to it, and I was open and honest with you on that. So you knew about it. So one of the situations I had where I learned my lesson growing in this land investing venture of Land Cravings is that he asked me if he could rent a shed, put a rent-a-shed on there, right? And so that's not owned. He don't own that, and he's still making payments. Well, the family was living in it, right? And that's cool. I've done that. I've lived in worse places than a pop-up shed, right? So they were, kind of living in it, renting the shed, making payments on the land. Well, they got behind on the land pay, or not on the land payments, on the shed payments, right? I didn't have a clue about it, right? So what they did was they were renting a 2-acre from me, 2-acre parcel. I'm just gonna change scenery here. They were renting a 2-acre parcel from me, or I was financing for them. This is Rockport trees, by the way. Look at there. They always lean towards the way that the wind's pushing it. So they were financing, and they were renting a 2-acre, but the 2-acre was a little tough to get to in their Buick LeSabre or what have you. I don't know. The terrain was a little rough for it. I understand. It's a Buick LeSabre. Maybe should have. That was out in Dolan Springs. They maybe should have chose a different lot, maybe with some amenities that were close or something. I don't know. That had some better paved roads for a LeSabre, some LeSabre type roads. So they asked me to trade for a 1-acre. I have a 1-year guarantee that if you're not satisfied with any lot for any reason, you can exchange that said payments that you've made on that property, on that land, for anything else that we have in inventory. So any lot, whether it be 1-acre, 2-acre, ain't got to be. You can just pick up your payments where you left off. I apply all that stuff to the payments that you were making, and we just do a new purchase agreement. It's fine. I can do that. We do that. We want to take care of these families. We want to have flexibility in what we're doing, right? So I done that for them, but they failed to tell me that they had fallen behind on the payments on the little pop-up shed, or the portable shed that they were living in. So they're now on the 1-acre, got another parcel where they put another shed. I told them, yeah, you can take that shed and put it back on there, even though I know you're renting it. That's fine. That's the mistake that I had. Why did I make that mistake? Because I was learning, right? We all got to learn. So here's the problem with doing that, with letting the buyers put improvements that are unowned on property that they're still paying for, is that I had to get involved with the company that actually owned that shed, which didn't take long. I got them to repo it, but it took a little bit. It took 2 weeks of phone calls, so that's 2 weeks of headaches. That's 2 weeks of, hey, are you actually going to get this thing off the property? So there's a lesson in that I allow anybody that purchases from me, as far as monthly payments, to go ahead and make improvements to the land if you own it. Now, as far as starting to build a big badass house on some of these lots, I'll look at your finances, see how much you got. That's just part of the deal. If you can buy a home, you can pay the land off, right? So the problem with doing things like that, where it's rent to own, is should the owner of the shed decide to put a lien on the property, they can do that, right? That was a little, if you hear that, that's how people get around right there. A little go-kart right there. I'm pushing it alone with my finger, as you can see. So that's the problem with doing such thing is they could put a lien on my property. Then I'm stuck. Then I can't afford, you know, I gotta go to court. I gotta either buy that shed or handle those legal issues with this lien that they have on this shed, and now therefore my lot. So that causes headache. So if you find that a particular land investor is, you know, not letting you do something, or you're trying to buy a parcel where the landowner won't let you do any of those little sheds or builds, just understand that these things can get very complicated and legally and whatnot. So in the story, I had to, you know, call the people who own the shed and about 2 weeks in a row and get them to promise and you know, to remove the shed, repo it. But I had to stay on them. You got to stay on them. Sometimes they won't even go out there and get that thing. They'll take their sweet time, and then I can't resell that lot. It, you know, puts it back, hurts my buyers who are looking at it. Hey, there's a shed on here. Does it come with it? Well, they're going to repo that, etc., etc. So I just wanted to share that story because I know I haven't shared anything in a long time. But thank God you guys are here with me, headed towards 2023. I rhyme right there. I didn't mean to do that, but I'm a poet and I didn't know it. But we made it, and we'll holler at you next time when I come up with some more ideas to waste your time. We'll talk at you later. Land Cravings out.